I'm 70 years old. That number still surprises me when I say it out loud. Not because I'm ashamed of it, but because in my mind, I'm still the same person who once believed life would slow down someday.
It never did. What changed wasn't time. What changed was one decision, and I didn't understand its power until years later. For most of my life, I believed big changes came from big moments. A promotion, a marriage, a loss, a failure. I thought life turned only when something dramatic happened. I was wrong. The decision that changed everything didn't feel important at the time. In fact, it felt small, almost insignificant. That's why it worked. I used to live on autopilot. Wake up, rush, work, worry, sleep, repeat. I told myself this was normal, responsible, adult. Everyone around me was doing the same thing, so I never questioned it. I thought exhaustion was just part of life. I thought feeling empty meant I needed to try harder. I thought rest was something you earned after everything else was finished. Everything else was never finished. There was a morning I remember clearly, not because something special happened, but because nothing did. I sat alone with a cup of coffee that had gone cold. The house was quiet, and for the first time in a long while, I noticed how tired I felt, not physically, but deep inside. I wasn't sad. I wasn't angry. I was just numb. That scared me more than pain ever could. That morning, I almost did what I always did. I almost stood up, distracted myself, and pushed the feeling away. But I didn't. I stayed seated, and I asked myself a question I had avoided for years. If my life stays exactly like this, would I be okay with it? The answer came faster than I expected. No. That's when I made the decision. It wasn't loud. It wasn't brave. It wasn't announced to anyone. But it changed everything. I decided to stop waiting. Not waiting for retirement. Not waiting for the right time. Not waiting until I felt ready. I decided to start choosing presence over postponement. At first, nothing around me changed. Same house. Same responsibilities. Same routines. But something inside me shifted. I stopped rushing conversations. I stopped multitasking for moments that mattered. I stopped treating time like an enemy. I began asking myself, is this how I want to spend this hour? That question alone rewrote my days. I learned how often I said yes out of habit, not meaning. How often I filled my time just to avoid silence. How rarely I gave my full attention to anything. I wasn't living poorly. I just wasn't living fully. That one decision, to be intentional with my time, forced me to see uncomfortable truths. Some things I was chasing didn't matter. Some habits I defended were draining me. Some relationships needed more presence, not more words. It wasn't easy, but it was honest. I started finding meaning in places I used to ignore. Quiet mornings, unfinished conversations, simple routines done slowly. I realized how much joy I had rushed past because it didn't look impressive enough. Happiness, I learned, doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it just waits to be noticed. At 70, I don't have the illusion of unlimited time anymore. And strangely, that has made life richer. I no longer tell myself, I'll do it someday. I ask, why not now? That shift alone changed how I love, how I listen, how I live. The decision didn't give me more years. It gave me more life inside the years I have. And that has made all the difference. If you're listening to this and thinking, I know this feeling. Please understand, you don't need a crisis to change direction. You don't need permission. You don't need to overhaul your entire life. Sometimes, one honest decision is enough. I'm 70 years old, and this one decision, to stop waiting and start choosing, changed everything. If you're still breathing, it's not too late for you either. After I made that decision, I expected something dramatic to happen. I thought I would suddenly feel happier, lighter, more confident. None of that happened. What happened instead was quieter and far more uncomfortable. I became aware. Awareness is not peaceful at first. It shows you what you've been avoiding. I began to notice how often I was impatient with people I loved, how often I half-listened, how often I filled silence because I was afraid of it. I realized I had been living reactively, responding to life instead of choosing it. That realization hurt. but it also woke me up. I started paying attention to my days in a way I never had before. Not judging them, not fixing them, just noticing how I felt in the morning, where my mind wandered, what drained me, what quietly gave me energy. I discovered something surprising. Most of my exhaustion didn't come from work. It came from resistance, doing things I didn't truly want to do, and ignoring the quiet voice that kept asking for something different. There were habits I defended for years that no longer made sense, commitments I kept out of guilt, routines I followed simply because they were familiar. Letting go of them felt wrong at first, almost selfish, but staying stuck felt worse. I began to say no more often, not angrily, not dramatically, just honestly. That single change created space I didn't know I needed. In that space, I found clarity, and in that clarity, I found peace. People around me noticed before I did. They said I seemed calmer, more present, less rushed. I hadn't changed my life circumstances much. I had changed how I moved through them. I stopped measuring my days by productivity alone. I started measuring them by presence. Did I show up fully today? Did I listen without distraction? Did I allow myself to enjoy something without rushing past it? Some days the answer was no. But now I noticed, and noticing changed everything. One of the biggest shifts was how I experienced time. Time stopped feeling like something I was losing. It started feeling like something I was living. I no longer treated moments as obstacles between me and the future. They became the point. At 70, I don't believe happiness comes from eliminating problems. Life will always have them. What changed was my relationship with them. I stopped letting them consume every corner of my attention. I learned that peace doesn't come from control. It comes from acceptance and intention. There were regrets, of course. Moments I wished I had lived differently. Years I wished I had understood this sooner. But regret lost its grip when I realized something important. I was still here, and being here still mattered. That one decision didn't erase the past. It gave me a present worth being in, and that was enough. If you're watching this and feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or numb, I want you to know something. You don't need to change everything. You just need to choose something differently. One choice, one shift, one honest decision. I'm 70 years old, and I finally understand this. Life doesn't change when circumstances improve. It changes when attention does. That one decision, to live intentionally instead of automatically, changed everything. And if you're listening now, it can still change things for you too.